This video is gonna be a fun one. Welcome back to Dip Doodler. My name is Leaf, and today I'm gonna be helping your sketchbook become more aesthetic. Now, I'm not gonna pretend I know anything about how to make a professional looking sketchbook, but I do know that these tips help me make sketchbooks I find aesthetic. So I'm hoping it helps you all as well. So let's get into it. The first thing that I notice a lot of people doing is going into their sketchbook without a plan or idea on what they want their pages to look like. While that's fine and cool for some people to do, it doesn't really help the sketchbook look aesthetic. So the first tip I have for you all is working on composition for the pages you want to create. Try creating thumbnails in a different sketchbook or separate pieces of paper. You can stick it into your sketchbook after the fact if you want to show your creative process of coming up with ideas. I personally like sticking the thumbnails in a little pouch or something, but not everyone will want to do that. It depends on what you want to do and include. It's your sketchbook after all, I'm just here to give you tips. So this tip is for people who find themselves doing digital art sometimes as well as having a sketchbook. Having a digital sketchbook can be a little sad since you're not seeing the art in real life or that often. I don't know about y'all, but when I finish doing a digital piece, I tend to forget about them after doing them. So what I think is cool to do is to print out my digital art and make themed pages off of them. I add stickers, annotations, and add whatever I think will look good or gives off the vibe of the art I did. I find it gives off a unique feel and is a great way to show off your digital art at the same time. Speaking of stickers, you can make themed art pieces based off stickers you have lying around. This is mainly for people who have a bunch of stickers already. I realize that not everyone has access to money or resources to get stickers. I'm honestly putting this tip in because I personally have an absurd amount of stickers, and I've been using them quite often lately. If you don't have access to stickers or a lot of supplies in general, this next tip might help you. You can make a restricted color palette and just use that for a sketchbook spread. You can be pretty creative with it. You might find yourself using colors in ways you never thought about before. After all, restrictions can help push you to be more creative as they are artists' best friend after all. This tip is also good if you only have access to a few art supplies, since you don't need a lot of those to do this tip. I hope this makes up for the last one. Anyways, making collages is a great way to make a pretty looking page. Just grab pictures or pieces of things that inspire you and make a piece based off them while also adding them to the page. You can do this as many times as you want to. It's a great way to fill space while still looking aesthetic. Another low effort and easy way to make pages in your sketchbook look more pleasing to the eyes is to sketch in pens or colored pencils. You don't have to be neat and tidy, you can be messy with it. Pleasing to the eye does not have to mean being clean and uniform. As long as it's giving off the vibes you want it to give off, it's a good thing to include. Another thing I find people doing quite often is thinking that they have to make fully realized art to make their sketchbook good. You don't have to make finished pieces to be aesthetic. You could just do the tried and true method of slapping on a cool background to a page of regular old sketches. I promise it'll help tie them all together and make it look a lot more cohesive. You could also outline the sketches you like the most on the page to let them stand out more from the rest. This next tip is really only for people who want to learn more about anatomy, which should be every artist since no one knows everything about anatomy, but some artists pretend they know everything. I'm looking at you, Tyler. Anyways, you can take a body part you need to draw more and make a themed page around that. Add notes to it, add some color studies for it, just experiment with the page to see what looks best to you, because that's all that really matters. But personally, I think you should also just experiment in general. Sketchbooks are literally made for experimentation and trying out new things. Take a medium you don't normally use and practice using it on the page. Do a study of it, how it works with your sketchbook paper, and how it works with other mediums you might use more often, and just have fun with it. Not everything has to be super planned out and serious to be pretty. Speaking of studying though, take another artist's work and try to dissect it in your own sketchbook. It can be very fun and eye-opening. I recommend studying people that inspire you or that you want to learn from. Again, add notes, study the way they shade and color, and try to incorporate it into your style. I wouldn't recommend trying to make an exact copy of someone else's art style because it can leave a bad taste in people's mouth. This, obviously, doesn't apply to people who ask for permission from the artist. Also, if you don't even upload or post about it, I think it's fine to try and replicate their style in that case. Just to learn from it, not to pass it off as your own. I mean, obviously. Okay, so now I'm gonna make this video go a little full circle with this final tip. This is actually a secret I've been using for a while now to help with getting interesting composition. Shh, don't tell anybody else. I use scrapbook templates to help inspire me. Making an aesthetic sketchbook and creating a scrapbook is actually pretty similar when you think about it. Both can be well thought out, but can also be thrown together in a way that looks natural and nice to look at. So yeah, those are my top 10 plus tips to creating an aesthetic looking sketchbook. I hope this video helped inspire you in some way, and that it helps your own sketchbook journey. Thank you all so much for watching! If you're interested in my art outside of YouTube, check out my Instagram in the description below. And if you did get something out of this video, consider subscribing. Have a great rest of your day, y'all. Toodles doodles!